Hey bloggers! Today in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a Pinterest board. Even though a lot of my followers and users already know how to create boards, they have a lot of questions about optimizing those boards, using a solid description for those boards, and ultimately letting Pinterest know what these boards are all about so that Pinterest can in turn share those boards and the pins on those boards with consumers. So I'm going to walk you through the process of creating a great, highly optimized Pinterest board, one that is going to be great for your users and one that is going to make Pinterest happy. And there's a few little tips and tricks that a lot of people don't know about, and they might even surprise you as we go through this training. So I'm going to pull a few of these little tips from my Pinterest training course. It's called Pinterest Simplified. And I share a lot of these tips in the course itself, but I also wanted to make a video that is just for my followers who are interested in optimizing their own Pinterest boards. So we're actually going to go through the process of creating Pinterest board from scratch and show you how to optimize this baby to make Pinterest happy. So we're going to go to boards in our own Pinterest account, and we're going to go to create board. Now, when you name your Pinterest board, you want to be sure that you're using very specific keywords that your audience might be searching for and that Pinterest can recognize. Don't use cutesy names or creative, quirky headlines that you think are funny or cute or captivating. Just be super straightforward. In this case, my audience is interested in starting a blog, so I'm going to create a board called How to Start a Blog. I have never created a board with this title. This is the only one. And I'm going to name it How to Start a Blog because that is the type of content that I'm going to be pinning to this board. Hit create, and you just created your first Pinterest board. Now we're going to optimize this baby, but before we do, I have a super secret weapon that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people create a new board and then they automatically want to start pinning all of their content to this board. Don't do that. First, we need to help Pinterest figure out what this board is all about. They're not going to know to put your content in front of certain consumers unless you let them know what this board is all about. And that's what these tips are for right here. Some ideas for this board. Clearly, based on the name that I used for my blog or for my board title, Pinterest already has a little bit of an idea what type of content I'm going to be pinning to this board. We're going to let Pinterest know they're right on track and they know what this board is about, and it's all about how to start a blog. So let's click on these pins and we'll grab a few of them and we'll pin them to this board. That lets Pinterest know some of their currently top performing pins are going to be added to our board. We always want to make sure that they lead to an actual website. Mommy on Purpose, I actually know this blogger. She's awesome and she knows how to start a blog. So we're going to save this guy to the board. Saved. Now we have a highly optimized pin from a credible source, and we've added it to our board on how to start a blog. And because of this, Pinterest is already going to know that this board is all about blogging. Let's grab a few more of these. We know that it's coming from a legitimate website. Obviously, it's a good looking pin. How to make money from your blog. I guess we can do that one too. How to start a blog in 2019. I also know this blogger, so we can save that. How to start a successful blog in 2019. Awesome. The ultimate guide to making money, to a money-making blog in 2019. I know this blogger too. So these are some of the top pins for this topic. We'll stay on how to start a blog. You don't want to get crazy and start pinning hundreds of pins to the board necessarily. I'm more of a slow go pinner. I try to just pin a few pins at a time just because I don't like to overwhelm my Pinterest account. There's nothing wrong with grabbing 10 pins, even 20 pins when you first create a brand new board and adding those high quality pins to the board. Just for the sake of this example, I just added these first 6. There's nothing wrong with grabbing a few more. You can grab a few more pins, 6, 7, 10. It really doesn't matter an exact number. Just grab a few high quality pins from the Pinterest search engine. This is actually their smart feed, because as soon as I created my board, their smart feed said, hey, this board is about starting a blog, and they pulled up all of their most relevant content, which is awesome. This is all high quality content that I do want to save to this board. Another way that we can grab more pins and save them to this board is using the search feature, which we're going to do in just a moment. But let's dig into the board itself and optimize the board information before we do that. You'll go right here to this little pencil to edit your board. Again, most of my students and followers know how to start a board, edit a board, but we really want to make sure that we optimize this baby to the max. So the board is how to start a blog, super simple keyword. Anyone that's searching for how to start a blog, this board will come up in their search as it grows in the Pinterest algorithm and Pinterest figures out what the board is all about. The description, we want to make sure the description has a lot of keywords, but we want to use them in a natural way. We don't want to stuff keywords into this board description. So I'm actually going to head over to my Pinterest course, Pinterest Simplified, and this is a section on optimizing your Pinterest board and the Pinterest description of your board. And it talks about a few things that we want to keep in mind, knowing that Pinterest is a search engine and search engines are very smart. They don't want you stuffing a bunch of keywords into your description. If you use your description in a natural, organic way, you can still fill it with keywords and also make Pinterest happy. And I use an example about healthy recipes. You can say the board is all about healthy recipes, healthy living, healthy exercise, but you don't want to say health, healthy, healthiest, health nut, health food, health focus. That's kind of like keyword stuffing, and we don't want to do that. We really want our descriptions to be brief, to the point, let Pinterest know what the board is all about, and let consumers know what the board is all about. So this is my template for the perfect board description. You want to start with a brief statement about what this board is all about. This board is about XYZ. Then you can add a little bit more of an explanation about what type of pins are going to be on this board. Pins on this board are all about XYZ. Then you can close with a sentence about topics of interest that invite people to follow that board, saying something like, you can follow this board if you're interested in XYZ. So this is the type of description that we're going to use on this Pinterest board. And I already created it and I kept it super simple. So I'm going to pull that up really quick and I'm going to paste it right here. And this is what the description says, how to start a blog. This board is all about starting a blog and making money blogging. We're using keywords like blog, blogging, blogger, increase blog traffic, turn your blogging side hustle into your career, marketing, entrepreneurship, a few different words and phrases that are still relating to how to start a blog. And then you want to add it to a category. As funny as it may seem, blogging is actually not a category on the Pinterest platform, and business isn't either. Memo to Pinterest, please create a business section for your categories. But for now, I usually put mine in the education department, or in the education category, because I am educating people on how to start a blog. You can add a cover, which we'll do later. And you can add collaborators, but for now, this is my Pinterest board. So we're just going to save this baby. Now we have a title that is optimized. We have a description that is optimized. And now we can do exactly what I said before, and we can have it head over to search. And we're going to search for how to start a blog. Now, all the top pins that come up in this section are going to be high quality pins that Pinterest already recognizes using the keywords how to start a blog. And we can save them by using this drop-down menu, how to start a blog, save. How to overcome your fear and start a blog, save. 10 things you should do before you launch your blog. I know moms make sense. We know it's a high quality pin. So we'll save that baby. Like I said, you don't want to go crazy and start pinning hundreds of pins, but you just want Pinterest to recognize that when you click on how to start a blog, that these high quality pins are the type of pins that you have on your board. This way, when you start pinning your own pins about how to start a blog, Pinterest will already know you have highly optimized pins on your board. Your board is all about how to start a blog or whatever topic you are choosing to write about. This is just an example. Let's save a few more just for reference. We already saved those in our first example. How to start a profitable blog. Again, this isn't necessarily about making money blogging. This is really just about how to start a blog, this board itself. But these are the top pins that show up when you type my keywords, how to start a blog, into Pinterest. So that's telling Pinterest that this is what our content is all about. All of these high quality pins that popped up when I typed this into the search engine, these are the type of pins that we're going to fill our board with. That way Pinterest knows what this board is all about. And when I start adding my own high quality pins to this board, Pinterest will recognize that. So we have saved a handful of high quality pins. We know that these pins are all about how to start a blog. We know that because we actually used the Pinterest search. We can actually extend it a bit too, how to start a blog for free, and grab a few of those pins as well, because there's just an extension of our current topic. Now we have a handful of pins on this board, which is great. Pinterest can start figuring out what our board is all about. And now we can actually go over to our own website and grab one of our own pins. Let's search for how to start a blog. A comprehensive guide to starting a blog. Let's grab this baby. And we'll pin this baby to Pinterest. Oops, not to Facebook, sorry. We'll grab this pin. We know our pin is optimized already, how to start a blog. We'll add it to our how to start a blog board. And again, you don't have to do all of this, in the first 60 seconds of starting your new board, but this is the process that you want to follow when you start a new board and when you start a new Pinterest board and when you start adding pins to it. Before you add your own pin, add a few other high quality pins to the board first. Make sure you have a solid board title with keywords. Make sure you have a solid board description with keywords, and then make sure you add several high quality pins to the board before you add any of your own pins, because that lets Pinterest know what your board is all about and what type of keywords they should be including on this board. So now my board has 14 pins, all on the topic of starting a blog. At this point, just one of my pins, but we'll add more as time goes. Ultimately, we just want to take this first few days. In this case, obviously in the example, it's just a few minutes, but we want to take the first few days of creating a new board and let Pinterest know exactly what this board is all about and what type of content we're pinning to that board. And that way, Pinterest can share this board with consumers when they type in these keywords, any of these keywords in my blog title or my board title or my board description. So I hope that clarifies a little bit of the confusion about starting a board, optimizing a board, and what you should be pinning to your board when you first get started. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. And as always, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out to me. Thanks, guys.